Good morning. So a little different plan today after reassessing my situation last night in camp. For those of you who did not watch yesterday's video, basically at the end of the day, I had pretty torn up feet from getting soaked earlier in the day, basically rubbing the skin raw and part of the skin off, and then the wrinkles on the bottom where it prunes up when it's wet started splitting in some areas. Definitely not a good situation opening the skin, but then also the fact that I just have extremely big amounts of sweat happening. It's very abnormal and I can't keep up on hydration very well. So yesterday that made it a little worse because I started going so slow because of the feet. They're pretty messed up right now. Got rained on everything last night. I woke up in the middle of the night and I was getting rained on because I left my fly open. At least my fly was on, that's good. But fly was open and I was getting rained on, didn't even realize it for a few seconds. I think that's how used to being soaked I've been the last week or so. I don't know if the sweating is effects from the Lyme that I had or not, but the feet problem is the big thing. So I'm actually getting off the trail this morning. I am going back up Garfield Mountain and taking a side trail called Mount Garfield Trail down to a trailhead where I have a shuttle picking me up, and I'm gonna go reassess and see what I need to do to heal up and get back on the trail and or see what happens from there. Just taking it one step at a time right now, but I definitely don't need to be walking around with cuts or skin missing on my feet. I had a skin infection on the PCT. That's not fun. And I got lucky there because it didn't end up being MRSA or staph or anything. But it could easily become that when you're walking through water and mud and dirt and grime and sweat inside your shoe. Out of breath already. So that's the plan today. Getting off the mountain, so to speak, and going into town, resupplying, reassessing the situation, drying out, and seeing what I need to do. Just so funny that I woke up in the middle of the night and I was getting soaked. I'm like, I feel wet. Oh my goodness, it's raining. And I knew it was raining. It's just I felt peaceful because it was raining. Didn't even think about the fact that I was getting rained on. So everything was soaked inside. And the one night I'd leave my shoes outside to dry out. And then so they get even more soaked. Anyway, I digress. Tribulations are part of the process. Struggles are part of the process. It's not just actual mountains, it's symbolic mountains too. And I definitely have my share of those right now. So, like I said, going into town, reassessing. Show you some of the trail on the way down, and definitely talk to you more once I get in town. Nothing like climbing back up a mountain just so you could go back down. Garfield Trail, head 4.8 miles down this side trail. All downhill from here, which sometimes is good, sometimes is not good. From what I've seen and read about this, it's somewhat gradual, so hopefully that means not too many slippery rock faces, as it did rain last night and everything's kind of wet. Not kind of wet, it's very wet. Still a beautiful trail here. It's all socked in up top, so I'm glad I got to see those views yesterday for sure on Franconia Ridge and Garfield Mountain. is definitely the cruisiest section of trail I've been on in the Whites. It is just a slow descent, gradual descent, I should say. There's nothing slow about it right now. I'm moving pretty good clip for being wet rocks because it's just this kind of rock so far. I don't know if it gets steeper or not. Just taking it one step at a time, but I'm going to end up beating my shuttle driver by quite a bit if it stays this gradual all the way down. I figured certain time in there based on, steepness and climbing down rocks and so forth. Right now, it's just walking down stones. Not too bad at all. Sure is beautiful though. Anytime the rain is on things, whether it's the grass, vegetation, leaves, trees, the dirt, the stones, it looks beautiful. It doesn't always feel beautiful when you're slipping and sliding on steep rock faces and such, but this is pretty nice right now. Gonna get me down nice and early for my Nero. And a Nero that my body well deserves. And reassess the situation and what the next steps are from that point. And right now, just enjoying this nice cruisy trail in the Whites. A lot of people on this side trail, which I understand why. There's a trailhead down there, and it's a pretty cruisy, gradual climb to a beautiful outlook on the summit of a mountain. So I get it, for sure. But they all want to be like, hey, how are you? Like, good, how are you? And I keep walking. Like, everybody wants to have this exciting conversation. And it's like, I don't feel so great. And I'm just trying to get down so I can have a Nero. Of course, I don't tell them that, but it's not their fault. It's definitely not their fault that they're happy. I prefer people to be happy, for sure, versus angry. It's just a lot for me, anxiety-wise, and being around big crowds, and there's definitely some big crowds in the Whites, as I'm sure most of you already know. As you can see, the trails got even cruisier, more gradual, not many rocks at all. It just isn't normal for the Whites. I wonder if this is the cruisiest trail in the Whites. I wonder if there's a way to find that out, because I bet this is up there for sure. It's still nice and still beautiful though, for sure. Have a pretty good pace going, considering my feet feel like they're on fire and that I'm walking through shards of glass. But hey, besides that, be looking forward to getting down and just propping those feet up all day and eating and resting and kind of figuring out, getting some resupply, some food, and figuring out what's next. If I'm going back tomorrow or going back the next day or what I'm doing. Right now, just want some food and some rest. Numero uno on my list for the day. You can always tell when you're getting close to the trailhead on a side trail, because everybody you pass is like, good morning. And when it's further back up the mountain, everybody's like, you can so tell just by the people exactly where you are on that side trail. And here's the parking lot where I'm meeting my shuttle driver, but I'm about 45 minutes early. Hopefully my shuttle driver will also be early, so I don't have to wait too long, but if I do, I do. A lot of people out here, as you can see. All right, at least it's sunny and not raining like it did last night. All right. So I'm here in a travel lodge in Lincoln, New Hampshire. eating some chips, eating some cheese, had some baked ziti, had some McDonald's, 2 liter of Mountain Dew, some Powerade, lots of water, drying everything out. It's all pretty good and dry now. And just letting these poor feet rest. I'll be going back to trail in the morning though. Time to conquer the rest of this trail. I'm feeling pretty confident that I could continue to go on with the feet problems I'm having. I might have to slow down so I don't overdo them with the cracks on the bottom and the red hot spot, so to speak, on the heels where it's starting to look like it's scraping the skin off. I will keep some triple antibiotic cream on it and try not to rub against it too much. Try my best to not get my feet soaked again for a while. For a while, because I know it will happen, obviously, in New Hampshire and Maine. Give me a break. But I feel like an adequate amount of rest today on the feet has helped in drying everything out. Definitely needed to dry everything out. Needed to get some food in me and some hydration especially. So going to continue on. I don't feel that anything going on with me is a dire need to get off trail or anything, or to have too much rest. So I think I have an adequate amount of rest today, and we'll be getting back to trail tomorrow to the white. So everybody, you know what's coming. Live life.